Hello guys and welcome to our next tutorial, and today we will learn about constructors and destructors in C++. Okay, so I will teach you today what are constructors and what are destructors, how you can make your own constructor and destructors, and what the functions they do. So let's begin. So constructors are special methods within a class, like there are special functions in the class that are automatically called when the object is created. Like for example, we have a constructor over here named which is a parameterized constructor, and this is a default constructor. Let me name it constructor. So it has parameters, that is why it's called parameterized constructor. It has parameters string car make, string car model, integer car year, and then the make will be equal to car make, the model will be equal to car model, year will be equal to car year, and these are defined over here, initialized, they are declared over here. So what this constructor does, it takes the value of the car make, car model and car year and makes them equal to the attributes of our class. Like as you can see over here in the we have called our constructor, we have given it Toyota Camry and 2023 as inputs to the constructor. So it will assign these values, the input, to the make, model and year automatically right as the code runs. Okay. They initialize object attributes and prepare it for use, and the class constructor have the same name as a class and can be overloaded to accept different sets of parameters. Like for example, we can make, like in the one of the last videos I told you about function overloading. So basically what is constructor overloading, you just make the same named constructor with different inputs. Like for example, you can make a constructor that doesn't have the input of the parameter of car year, or you can just make a that doesn't have a parameter of string car model and string car make, for like etc. So this is how you define a constructor. This is a default constructor that has no value or anything. Default constructor is called when we don't give any parameter to the constructor that we have called. Like for example, we have given the parameter over here, so this constructor will be called this. Like as you can see, we are doing constructor overloading. Thus both of the constructor have same name, but the amount of parameters vary. So we have given the constructor the input over here, and it gives the name of the there, and does that. It assigns them onto the string make, string model and int year, and then we have called the default constructor, and this is just a default thing. If there are no inputs into this one, then this will like automatically run and assign the values to the data members as unknown or anything you want to assign them as. So this is what constructor and destructor was. So let's go ahead and see what the role of destructor is. Destructor are special methods that are automatically called when an object goes out of scope or is explicitly deleted. They release resources that the object might have acquired during its lifetime. So basically what Destructor does, it just destroys the object after it's been used, and after the scope of the object is out. These are basically used to save memory on the user's computer RAM, because it helps in a lot when you have a whole big code and you have to manage some memory, do manage memory management, and have to make some destroy some objects that are not being used. So this is how you destroy them. You use this symbol, and after that you just write the class name and the function thing, and then if you want to just output a message, you can output a message car object is being destroyed, and then right when the destructor is being called, it will destroy the object. So this is how you make your own constructor and destructor. So let's learn about object life cycle. When an object is created, the constructor is called. Like if we let's me make a car obj1. Okay, so after the object, like this object is created, this is one of the object, it's been created, the constructor is called, and it will initialize the object. When the object goes out of scope or is deleted, the constructor cleans it up. So that as the object goes out of gets deleted, like destructor will automatically delete it from the memory and save up the memory of the user's RAM. This was the main point from the C++, because in C there was nothing like this, and the code would take a heaps amount of memory and would end up slowing down the user's PC. So the C++ was made in a form that it would be easy to understand, and memory is light on the memory. So after all those constructor and destructor, let's learn about constructor chaining. Constructor chaining is a powerful technique that allows you to reuse code between constructors within a class. It involves calling one instructor from another using the initialization list. This helps you avoid the duplication of code and promotes cleaner and maintainable class designs. So basically it's a technique that allows you to reuse your code between the different constructor in the class. Like this is a constructor, you can reuse them within the class and make different, like reuse it in different form, and instead of you making like different thousands of constructor just to do some particular thing, you could just use the same one and chain them to just make it a beautiful, reusable and cleaner code. So how the chaining works? In C++, when an object is created using a constructor, the initialization list is used to specify how the object's member should be initialized. By using constructor chaining, you can specify which constructor should be called to perform the initialization. So let me pull up a constructor chaining function. Okay, let me, and there. Okay, under this let me put it here. Okay, so we have the default function over here, and it been chained to this. Like instead of let me remove all this. Okay, let me remove this as well. Okay, so this is just used to chain the constructors. Like this is our default constructor that's been made smaller to this. Like instead of us making that whole thing where we have to go ahead and assign them one by their values, that this has to be unknown, this has to be unknown, this car model has to be unknown, this car make has to be unknown, and car year has to be unknown or 0. We just wrote car, the default constructor notation, then we use a semicolon car, and inside the bracket we write the value of the variables that we want. So, and you would ask, where do we define those variables? Like you would have to tell the compiler, hey, look over here, this in this like arrangement the variables are in, so you have to assign them according to that. Instead of it, we put unknown and 0, and it goes all over the place. Unknown is being assigned to car year, 0 is being assigned to car make, and all that. So we define them in our constructor, parameterized constructor. Car string car make, that is the the parameter, we give them the parameter over here. The default function takes the parameter from here and use it as is on, and then it does the thing. Then we use the data members like over here and assign the names like this in the constructor, like make bracket car make model, car model, and car year. This is how we simplify the constructor that we had made before. It was like long and wasn't really that much beautiful and simple to do, but this one is easier to understand. Like we have our parameters over here, then we have the make model and year over here that are being assigned to this value of the car make. So, and then this is what the default constructor inherits from it. It takes the parameter from the parameterized constructor and takes it upon it on it, and then assigns the value that we have given it. So we can also even do like this, like unknown, all this. We can, instead of just doing it this thing, we can just write name and all that. So what are the benefits of doing this? It increases the code reusability, it makes the code look cleaner, it gives us a lot of flexibility in our code, that gives us the default values or override specific attributes if we need to, and it is easier to maintain. And the changes to the initialization logic can be applied in one place called the constructor without affecting the other constructor. Like we can use this constructor again and again as different forms instead of, and change their values without affecting the other constructor that we have made. So this is how you make your do constructor chaining, and what the constructor and destructor in C++ was. So this was much all for today. This is all the things that you had to run in C++, and let me do a thing. Let's run this code before we close it off. Let me put it in public because it wasn't able to access the function, the method. Okay, as you can see, the car default, the default function was called, okay, and it was called, and the object was destroyed. Then we my car this parameterized function was called, and after that, after it was like totally run and all that, the objects were assigned to the values and parameters were given. The object was destroyed to save up the memory. So this is how you can make constructors and destructors in C++, and the basic concept behind them. In the next lecture we will learn more on classes and inheritance and all that. So, so this is it for today, and I hope you see you in the next one.